The Michigan Football Report is live here on a Tuesday evening. Thank you so much for joining us. We haven't done a live show, folks, I guess in like 10 months or so, right? Since Michigan was leading up to the college football playoff. We did a few of these shows last year. We actually were simulcasting them with Chat Sports, our main studio coverage, all throughout last year on the Tuesday nights. We decided, show's doing well. We're having some fun. Got producer Jack, my road dog, my right-hand man here in the Michigan Football Report here with me. We are about 20 or so, 25 minutes away from the college football playoff top 25 rankings being revealed. So make sure you guys are sticking with us. Light up that comment section. I'm going to be taking questions all evening. We'll probably be with you guys at least an hour, if not longer. The longer you guys watch, the longer we'll stay here. If we keep a good audience and the questions flowing, hell, we'll stay here all night, right, Jack? Jack's a little under the weather, so maybe not all night, but maybe. You never know. That is what we are promising you. So type Go Blue if you're a Michigan football fan. If you're a fan of another team, go over to the Chat Sports YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/Chat Sports TV. We don't want your kind here, and that I do mean. So let me know where you guys are watching from. Shout out your city. I want to give you guys some love. Got a lot of Go Blues coming in. Trey Morgan, Retrill Wilson, Curves. We got a Go Blue from Carter, Big Baller. We got a Bosa from Antonio Coleman. Rando Lee says Go Blue. Kalamazoo from Curves. We got Antonio Coleman from Lansing, Michigan. You got to donate to your police department, Antonio, because they're going to have to go arrest some Michigan football players. 4 more Spartans suspended brings the total up to 8, and criminal charges may be pending after the melee at the Big House on Saturday night. Got in Atlanta, Georgia. I saw a fly past there. How about this one? Kenny in Subic. He says he's in Subic Bay, Philippines. Welcome to the audience from the Philippines. Saw Minneapolis, Go Blue from New York, from Scoobyism 3. Let's see what else we got. Justin Courtney. Justin, by the way, I saw your DM. Appreciate it. I'm going to get back to that. We just had to kind of prep for this live show. So bear with me till tomorrow morning. Justin Courtney, going back to our conversation on the Michigan football comments giveaway winner from a few weeks back. Louisville, Kentucky from Coleman Hefner, and Kenny, MSU Convicts, Kenny from the Philippines. Eric Stone says Go Blue. Coldwater, Michigan from Chase Schneider. And then Capel, Texas from Daniel Aaron. Daniel, we are in downtown Dallas. So 45, 50 minutes away from where you're at there in Capel. So keep shouting out. Let's keep the live chat rolling. Get everybody in there and make sure that this is the most ruckus YouTube live of anyone out there on YouTube tonight, especially because we are hoping that Michigan will be, of course, in the top 4 in tonight's CFP. Today's show is sponsored by Established Titles, folks. Your boy, James Yoder. I am now a Lord. Let me show you mine first, Jack. Established Titles. Take a look at that bad boy. They sent me a plaque. I am now the aristocracy in Scotland. Established Titles allows lordship and ladyship title packs. You get up to 80% off. And with our deal tonight, you are going to get hooked up. We are loving Established Titles here at Chat Sports because it's a fun and novel way to preserve the natural woodlands of Scotland while helping global restoration efforts. What you can do is you get a 1-foot square of dedicated land with a unique plot number on a private estate in Edelston, Scotland, and a certificate, an official certificate with a crest. With every tree order and work with global charities, 1 tree planted and trees for the future to support global restoration efforts. This is an amazing last-minute gift ideas this holiday season. Established Titles is actually running a massive sale right now. Go to establishedtitles.com/chat. That is establishedtitles.com/chat. Get a last-minute holiday gift for the loved one in your life. Guys, this makes a great gift for the ladies in your life. You become aristocracy, an official lord or lady in Scotland, and they're going to mail you this framed certificate to hold up on your wall. You can actually, I don't necessarily recommend it, but you can apparently legally take this, become a official landholder in Scotland, and you can put Lord on your driver's license, your passport, your official documents here in the United States. Perfect holiday gift. They kind of make it a little bit of a gag gift, almost like buying moon rocks or anything like that. Establishedtitles.com/chat. That's establishedtitles.com/chat. The link is down in the comments and in the description of today's video. We'll toss it here in the live chat as well. Establishedtitles.com/chat. Get 10% off your order. Grab a plot of Scottish land next to me. If you guys buy this month of November, your plot will be around mine in Scotland in that video that we showed you just a moment ago. Make sure you're using hashtag Michigan, or you can super chat, right? We haven't done a super chat. We haven't done a ton of live shows here on the Michigan Football Report, but Chat Sports, our company, we do, what would you say, Jack, 30 live shows a week, right? 25, 30 live shows, big day today for live. And those guys just do all kinds of crazy and wild things for Super Chat, but we'll make it very simple what the Super Chat menu is for tonight's show. $1, if you Super Chat $1 throughout tonight's 90-minute or so show, you will get a shout-out, verbal shout-out from me, and then we'll answer your question if you've got one, but it won't be right to the top of the line. $5, you skip the line, you go straight to the top of the queue when we're answering questions. You'll get your question, your name, etc. Right here on the live show. If anyone super chats me $25, and that's per person, that's not 25 total. Every time someone super chats 25 or more, I will sing the victors with the fist pumps and everything here live on YouTube. So that's the super chat menu: 1, 5, or 25. Every dollar helps support Jack's emergency care bill that he had to go and get to what'd you get? A little urgent care this morning? Urgent care, Jack. So we're gonna support the Jack Fund. Money for a sore throat, I guess, right? Scratchy throat, something like that. All right, let's take a look where we at on likes as we're awaiting the official reveal from the College Football Playoff. They're going to be handing us an envelope. We're here in Dallas, Texas, right at the home of the College Football Playoff offices right down here. So where are we at for likes? 36 likes. Can we get up to 100 likes ASAP? How many folks do we have watching here, Jack? I'm just getting my bearings here on the live show. We've got 100 and what? 89, 189. So only need half of you guys to like the video for us to be able to continue out. I'm not leaving. If we don't get to 100 likes, I'm not continuing on the show. Up to 54 now. I just saw pop across the screen. So keep liking that video. Let's get to 100. There's going to be a lot of people out there broadcasting the college football playoff rankings. We're going to do it in real time, right? You're not going to have any delay between us and watching it on TV, or if you want to watch it on TV too, that's fine. But we're going to be revealing with them the exact moment that you would see it on TV. Up to 75 likes. Thanks so much for that. And 79 likes, actually. So we're continuing to roll up. I saw a super chat, dollar super chat coming in through there. So Kenny from Subic, thank you. Toss it up on screen. Appreciate there, giving him a shout out. He is watching from the Philippines. So really appreciate you, Kenny. Would love to know, you don't have to super chat again, but toss in the comments, how'd you end up in the Philippines? Or, what brought you to become a Michigan football fan? Let's say if you've lived overseas, if you've lived in the South Pacific for your entire life. So let us know. Kenny, thank you so much for the $1 super chat. All right, let's take a look here. We're waiting for the playoff committee to reveal their rankings to us. What is your drink of choice? Let up the comments. I'll start giving some shout outs here. Austin Holland, what up, Yoder? What up to you, Austin? Thanks so much for watching. Frank, when does it start? We're about 7 or so minutes away from the official rankings reveal getting underway. We're just going to take your questions and kind of walk through some cool stuff here. So B for beer, W for wine, liquor, booze, wherever you want to, give us an L. If you don't drink alcohol, at least, and you're more of a Kool-Aid guy or water, give us a D that you do not drink in the comments. Got some L's. Green Arrow says W or L. Zachary Raposo says L. Manuel says L. Joshua D. Pepsi's the best. Austin Holland, a liquor guy. Cigar Minchella B. Demon Stories. That's a pretty interesting name. He's a beer guy. Zach's an L guy. Kenny's a beer guy. Cass Kaminsky, what was that? L. Now they're coming in pretty fast. Josh Sherwood, my guy. Thanks so much for watching. Josh does not drink. Michael Bettisworth is a beer one. And Bart says Mountain Dew is the way to go. Our guy Tom Downey, he's a big Mountain Dew guy. He likes that Baja Blast as well. So keep them rolling. Let's see how fast we can get this chat rate. Also, we hit 100 likes so we can actually start the show. I won't feel like a schmuck here on the Michigan Football Report. But I'll tell you what, Jack, we can go to this one. Predict the score here. Oh, we got a super chat here coming in. Let's put him up on screen. We have a $10 super chat from Cool Moti. He says, go blue. Hashtag Bosa, beat Ohio State again. He says, bring back the Michigan chain. Jack, send Tom a message. See if he's got the chain. If he does, tell him to bring the chain and the helmet off my desk. Let's put it on for Cool Moti. Super chat, and that's the $10. I let Tom Downey at the Cowboys Report borrow the actual chain part, but the helmet aspect that goes in the end is sitting on my desk about 40 feet away around the corner. So Cool Moti with the $10 super. Thank you so much. You skipped the line. You're on there. I'm going to bring back the chain if it's here in the office here in a few moments. All right, go ahead and predict the score. Michigan, Rutgers. I kind of forgot what my prediction was a couple days ago, but I'm looking more into Rutgers. And by the way, we're going to preview the Rutgers game probably about 45 minutes to an hour from now after the college football playoff rankings are over with. This Rutgers team stinks. They got shut out against Minnesota. They're starting a redshirt freshman quarterback who's in his second start, got injured, shut out in his first start. They're starting running back who's a true freshman. He's out for the season now. Good defense is the Rutgers, as we see a bunch of predictions. Cool Moti, beer guy, thank you so much. Stephen Powers 45-3, Luca 100-0. I see Trey Morgan 38-6, Ryan Love 55-17. Keep the predictions rolling here as we're up to 106 likes here in the Michigan Football Report. Moments away, 5 or so minutes until we're going to have the rankings start coming in. But I'll take a dive. I'm actually going to predict right at the top of the hour, 7 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to predict the top 25 in whatever time, 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 minutes until the rankings are handed to us here on a Tuesday night. The first of 5 straight Tuesdays, or 4 straight Tuesdays, I guess it is, and then a Sunday of the college football playoff ranking reveals. So thanks so much for watching. Walter, I saw what you said there, Walter, you son of a gun. That's pretty funny. Who wants a shout out? As we're getting ready to get to the top of the hour, about 3.5 minutes until 7 p.m. Eastern, go ahead and type me. We're at 16 live chats per minute right now, 16 per minute. Can we get up to 50? Can we get to 50 people to comment in the next minute? I'd really appreciate it. Give me some me's in the comment. I will start doing shout-outs as soon as I see them coming in. Let's see. I'm going to refresh my chat to make sure I'm all the way at the bottom. Harry Clinton, me, go blue baby. Amanda, was it Homier? Amanda Homier, they came through a little fast. Me, David Ruiz, give him a shout-out. Cody Cole, Austin Holland again. Greg, Michael Besworth, Justin, Courtney, Emmanuel Hall, Jesse Aurelia. I missed a couple there. Apologies. Rick Harford, Samuel Roxme, 11. And we got some more me's coming in. Bosa me from Zaire E. Christian Painter says me. Perrin Freed. Coming in fast. Josh Sherwood, my guy, as well. There it is. Cool Motor. It was Cool Moti, right? Tom Downey brought it in. We've got the chain. I'll keep it up on for a few minutes, although it probably just really messed up your ears there and you guys watching at home. Sorry about that, Jack. So the chain is back. It's a little too long, I guess, for this setup. We didn't really crop it up for that, but that is the no turnover chain. I should send this. Little backstory. If you guys weren't with us in 2019, I created this because through 5 or 6, 7 games of the 2019 season, Michigan was leading the nation in fumbles, right? Not necessarily lost fumbles, but just fumbles in general. Shea Patterson, the running backs, everybody was fumbling. And I created the no turnover chain because Miami and some other schools had the turnover chain. This was the no turnover chain. I snuck it into a Michigan football game. I was bragging about it. They had a picture of me saying, do not let this guy in with this thing. So I went to another exit, snuck it in my coat, and I was there. So I took a picture with a bunch of you guys with the no turnover chain at that game. It was 2019 Michigan-Iowa. Also wore it to the Hawaii night game about a month or so ago, a month and a half. So funny enough, Josh Gaddis now at Miami, first year, 7 games in, is no different of a place. He is leading the nation in turnover. So we need to send this down to Miami, I think, make it a Miami helmet, the no turnover chain. Jack's dad, is that your dad, Jack? Jack's dad, you have raised a wonderful young man. We love Jack here at the Michigan Football Report, at the Chat Sports, the right-hand man making this show have record numbers this month, last month of this season. So Derek Hudson says me. Justin Courtney says Gaddis is terrible. Glad he is gone. So this is the no turnover chain. Give a bunch of shout outs. Alex Latorre, thank you so much for watching, says me. All right, just a few more moments as we get rolling here. Which is the better holiday, C or T? Let me know what you guys think. Thanksgiving, which is 3 weeks from Thursday, right? 3 weeks from Thursday. Thanksgiving 23 days away, or Christmas, which is a month right after that. C or T. The C's are dominating it. Raj says T, so we've got at least one T. Michael says T. Raj is really coming in heavy with the T, so appreciate you, Raj, showing love. T for me, a lot of T's, a lot of C's. It seemed to be slighted towards the Christmas at the beginning, and now it appears to be coming, it's back to Christmas. Jerry says C without question. Jack said C. I don't know. I think as a younger person, I would have said C for sure. But now Christmas is, you know what Christmas is when you got kids, Jack? Christmas is a bill. Christmas is a bill. So I'm going to go T for now. But I love Christmas. It's fun. Holiday season is great. And the mantra that we have made famous that has put this show and put this Michigan football program back in good standing, as I'm going to take the turnover chain off for a little bit, is Bosa just a few moments away from getting the show started. So thanks to everyone who's been watching so far, getting us rolling. 270 people watching right now. Get those Bosas. Cody Cole says Bosa, Green Arrow. Justin Courtney, my guy. Eastside Zach in the house. What up, Eastside Zach? Tiny DC 11 says Bosa. Is it Sanwa? Sandra Cooper says Bosa. Hot take. Jim Knowles reminds me a lot of Don Brown. I've been saying that too, and we all know how he got exposed. I believe that same thing as well, that Jim Knowles, the Ohio State defensive coordinator, does remind me a lot of Don Brown. Austin Bosa, Brad Bosa, Rich T says Bosa, and Emmanuel Hall Bosa. We're at 32 chats. Everyone who just typed Bosa, type it again twice really quick. We got to get to 50 chat rate. Now we're at 46. Let's see if we can get to 50. It's 46 per minute. And let's see if it updates. Can we get to 50 chats per minute? 50 chats per minute. Type Bosa. We didn't get it. You guys, come on. I'm just going to have to type a few myself there. Bosa. All right, Jack, let's start the show. Let's keep it rolling. 22,494 of you have subscribed to the Michigan Football Report, and we are about to dive into the latest and greatest around Michigan football, the college football playoff. So make sure you subscribe. Just hit that subscribe button right below the video. And if you've enjoyed the show, if this is not your first time watching, if you've watched in the past, and you've got friends who are Michigan football fans, whether or not they've subscribed or not, you may not know. Send them the link, youtube.com/Michigan TV. Have them join the live show tonight. See what they think. And if they like it, make sure you tell them, subscribe to the channel. Guy does a Michigan football video every single day. Coming up in today's show, we're going to reveal the college football playoff top 25. Then we're going to do a Michigan Rutgers preview. After that, live Michigan football Q&A. As long as you guys want me to stay on, I will stick with it. So keep the questions rolling. We'll take your questions at the end of the show. You can always skip the line with using the Super Chat feature like a few of you guys have done so far today on the show. All right, we have hit 7:02 Eastern. We're about to dive into our projected rankings. Before we do, who are you rooting for this Saturday in one of the premier games in all of college football? It's not Tennessee, Georgia, which clearly I think is the game of the year, at least so far, but Notre Dame, Clemson. I'm torn, right? Because why? Why would I be torn? Because Michigan, I despise Notre Dame in a lot of ways, but I also despise Clemson, given that they might keep Michigan out of a playoff spot if the cards went a certain way. So I'm actually going to root for Notre Dame, right? I'm rooting for Notre Dame to beat Clemson, to just knock Clemson, hopefully, out of the college football playoff discussion, right? I think everyone needs to be realistic when it comes to Michigan right now. If the Wolverines lose to Ohio State, they're going to go on the road, haven't won there in 22 years. Let's be realistic. I still want Michigan to make the playoff, and it's not going to happen if you've got an undefeated TCU, if you've got an undefeated Clemson. So I want to get those teams out of the way and have it come down to a one-loss, team should Michigan be in that position. Let's take a look at my projected rankings. We're just moments away from the actual rankings coming out. The college football playoff has a representative that's going to hand Jack an envelope. He's going to put it up on the screen. We've got Oregon State at 25, Arkansas 24, North Carolina State at 23, Texas at 22, although 3 losses, but they keep getting so much love from the computer rankings, so we're kind of guessing that they're going to be down in that bottom 5 of this first top 25. Syracuse lost a heartbreaker a couple weeks ago against Clemson and then just got dominated by Notre Dame. They sit there at 21. Number 20, Tulane. Great win earlier in the year. They beat Kansas State, who you'll see coming up later on in our rankings. Wake Forest, North Carolina, Oklahoma State, and Illinois. This Illinois team, folks, which Michigan plays 2 weeks from Saturday, the week before Ohio State, this team is for real. They might have the best running game, or if not the second best running game with Michigan. They currently have the best defense in all of college football, so keep an eye out for the Illini and Brett Bielema. Top 15, Penn State was right there to beat Ohio State this past week. It was up with 9 minutes left in the game, but nevertheless, Ohio State gets the win on the road. Utah, LSU, who plays Alabama this week, so they could be up there in the top 5-6 come next week, although they believe they have a couple losses already so far this season. Kansas State, what a story they could have been. They lost to Tulane the second or so week of the year, and then lost a heartbreaker to TCU. So after that 48-0 win over Oklahoma State, they are back up into the top 15. Ole Miss rounds out 25 through 11. Then in the top 10, you've got a kind of spattering of college football playoff rankings from the Pac-12. You've got UCLA coming in at number 10. Then at number 9, crosstown rival, future Big Ten teams, UCLA, and then USC. Number 8, Oregon. Gosh, have they even shown up? Have they even got off the bus against Georgia in the first week of the year, they may be ranked a little bit higher and have an outside chance at the college football playoff. Nevertheless, they are number 8. They're kind of on a hot streak, though, lately, so keep an eye out for Oregon as we come down the stretch of the college football playoff season. Number 7, Clemson. I've got Clemson at number 7. There's multiple games this year they should have lost, the Clemson Tigers, and I think the overall wins, the big wins they thought they have, like Syracuse and Wake Forest and some others, aren't looking as hot lately. And overall, Clemson, I think, has been one of the least impressive teams inside of the top 10, top 15. Of course, they're still undefeated. Let's see what they do against Notre Dame. A Notre Dame team that has a few positive games under their resume, although they did lose to Marshall. All right, one more request here. We're getting close to 23,000 subscribers, but let's hit 22,500 here in a matter of moments. We're at 22,497. I'm going to keep the number up. We're not moving until we get 22,500, Jack. We're at 497 right now, so let's see if we can get 2-3 more of you guys to subscribe so we can continue to move on. 22,497 people are subscribed to the Michigan. There we go, 22,501. So we've hit the number. Let's continue to roll on. Show everybody our top 6 in this college football playoff projected rankings. Remember, these are my projected rankings. Here we go. Let's just skip past this, Jack. We got producer in the ear. We have the official rankings are coming in. So let's jump into that, Jack. Let's kind of start off from the top. We're going to toss this on the channel afterwards. So bear with us for a moment as we get our bearings here. It's the Michigan Football Report by Chat Sports. I'm your host, James Yoder. You are watching the initial college football top 25, the college football playoff top 25 rankings here on a Tuesday night. We are going to reveal them to you live, and then I'll put this cut up on the channel later on tonight, November 1st, 2022. Your top 5 ranked. Hopefully, Wolverines will take on Rutgers on Saturday night. We are going to start throwing them up on the screen. Jack, when we have them, you let me know, and then we'll start diving into them. 25 through 21 was just announced, but you know what? It flew past my screen. There we go, right there. Number 25 is UCF. Number 24, we told you they would be ranked. Texas in the official college football playoff rankings. They're no longer the mock. These are the official ones. Oregon State, NC State, and Wake Forest. At number 20, which we'll put up on screen in a second, is Syracuse, followed by Tulane. Good year for them at 7-1. Oklahoma State, North Carolina, which I think is one of the weakest one-loss top 17 ranked teams I've ever seen in the history of college football. They give up 60-plus to App State. They've had a number of near losses. They've got 5 games they've won in one-score games, so give them some credit for that. They did, of course, lose to Notre Dame. And then the Fighting Illini, the potential Big Ten West champions there, are number 16. All right, we are going to now dive into the top 15 of the rankings. Penn State, Utah, Kansas State, and then UCLA and Ole Miss. That rounds out 25 through 11. But let me know while we're kind of diving in, getting these up on the screen, who's your favorite Michigan football player of all time? Let me know down in the comments. 15 through 11, one more time for you guys. Penn State, Utah, Kansas State, UCLA, and Ole Miss is the top 25 down through 11. We have a quick pause here while we're waiting for the committee to hand us the top 10 in the initial college football rankings. Let's just go to them as they come on, Jack. We can kind of circle back to the rest of the show afterwards. We've got the top 10 coming in, and it is LSU. A 2-loss LSU jumps into the top 10. Now, I feel like this is SEC bias right here. I think they're trying to give Alabama another big time win. So LSU there at number 10. Look, that's just kind of ridiculous. They lost to Florida State in the opener. They lost to Tennessee, which is okay right there, but then had a big top 10 win against Ole Miss this past weekend. So we'll see what they do against Alabama coming up here on Saturday. That game is 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 local time there as they take on the Crimson Tide, and one of the great rivalries in college football over the past 10, 15 years. Number 9, USC. The Trojans are your number 9 ranked team in the college football playoff initial top 25 rankings. Turnaround for them. It's been a decent turnaround. They took basically Oklahoma's entire roster and brought them over to USC in a lot of ways. And this was a bad team last year. What were they, 4-8 in 2021? So for them to be 7-1, look great on offense so far. But they did have that loss to Utah, last-minute loss, and they are your number 9 team. Number 8 in the college football top 25 initial rankings for the playoff is the Oregon Ducks. What a turnaround for Oregon as we kind of bring up the play sheet for the Ducks as we're waiting for number 7. Lost 49-3 in the opener, but then they've rolled off 7 wins in a row, including a 45-30 win over UCLA. Number 7, TCU, the Horned Frogs. I've got a problem with this one, right? They are your number 7 team. I think they're getting hosed here with being number 7. And this is this TCU team that has been hosed in the past. Remember 2014, them and Baylor were ranked inside the top 4. One, shared the conference title back when they didn't have a game for a couple years, when they have a conference championship game in the Big 12. And then Ohio State beat Wisconsin 59-0 and then jumped over top of them into the number 4 spot for the initial college football playoff rankings. We will reveal the top 6 teams in a moment, but I did want to remind you guys of today's presenting sponsor, and that is Established Titles. You can become a Scottish Lord today, establishedtitles.com/chat. This makes an amazing last-minute gift. Established Titles is actually running, folks, a massive sale right now if you use the promo code CHAT, establishedtitles.com/chat. Get a plot of land next to me, become a Scottish Lord. You get a certificate like this. Your plot of land, it's a 1-by-1 piece of land that will be in Scotland. This is actual footage of where my plot is, so you guys can be next to me with Established Titles. Go ahead and get a great holiday gift. Become a lord, become a lady. Buy it for the parent in your life. Buy it for the lady in your life. Hell, buy it for the guy in your life. Established Titles is a fun and novel way to preserve the natural woodlands of Scotland, and it makes an amazing holiday gift. I just received mine today, folks. Take a look at this. Take a look at that bad boy. The guy, James Yoder, bring it as close as we can. Lord James Yoder. I can put this on my passport, and I can go to Scotland and say, look, I'm part of the aristocracy. EstablishedTitles.com/chat. Save an extra 10%. Jack, somebody from your family bought one today, right? Downey's family bought one today. Make sure you guys buy one. Be a part of the aristocracy with Established Titles. EstablishedTitles.com/chat. Get 10% off this holiday season. All right, let's take a look as we're getting the rankings here. The top 6 of the college football playoff rankings, and number 6 is Alabama. So they're getting a lot of credit for almost beating Tennessee, but this Alabama team could have 3 losses right now. Texas early on, they had to have a miracle comeback to win that one. Texas A&M went for 2 to get the win a few weeks back, didn't get it, one of the worst 2-point play calls in history. Alabama could have 3 losses. They lost to Tennessee. They take on number 11 LSU is where they were, number 11 LSU, coming up on Saturday at home. You'll see that one on ESPN. 10 LSU, I should that, number 11. So waiting for number 5. This is what's going to get hairy. Is it going to be Michigan, number 5? Is it going to be Clemson? Is it going to be Ohio State? We will find out momentarily. The committee representative is standing outside the door with these wildly big envelopes that they hand to Jack. And we've just got it. Jack said, number 5, absolute shambles. It is the Michigan Wolverines. They just get completely disrespected by the committee. That's preposterous, right, Jack? That's preposterous. That's ridiculous. Let's get to that question though. As we're waiting on the top 4 here, let's go. I want to hear what people's reactions are to this ranking. Let me know what your one-word reaction is to Michigan being ranked number 5 as we're waiting the top 4 in the college football playoff official top 25 rankings. I got a bullshit from Walter. I got a what the F from Jack Power. I got haters, man, from Manuel Riggins. Look, the crew coming in. Boo! Don't kick anything over. Boo! Boo! This guy's got a Florida shirt on.
What a joke. What a joke.
I appreciate it. The crew coming in, showing that they feel that this is an absolute joke. I'm going to say it's F the committee that Michael Long said. It's a joke, F the committee. But let me know your one-word reaction as we get number 4 here. Let's go back to the bracket for Jack, producer Jack. Number 4 is the Clemson Tigers. So what does Clemson have? What does Clemson have that Michigan doesn't have? I'd like to know here. What does Clemson have that would give them the number 4 rankings? Because we know the top 2 is going to be Tennessee and Georgia. We know that they can't resist a 1-2 game of the century matchup coming up on Saturday in Athens at Samford Stadium. home of the Georgia Bulldogs. We know they're going to be number 2. But what does Clemson show that Michigan doesn't have? Now, if Michigan wins out, it's not going to matter. But I truly believe the best 4 teams in college football are Georgia, Tennessee, I actually think Georgia, Alabama, Michigan, and Ohio State. Now, Tennessee proved us wrong a little bit, but I think 2 SEC teams are getting in. I want Michigan or another team. Wow, actually, as we're getting the number 3 coming in here, another kind of a surprise, another shocker coming in. The Georgia Bulldogs are number 3. So the committee resists what I think every urge in their body had to be telling them to do, which is rank Georgia number 2, Tennessee number 1, or some version of that. Your top 6 coming in: Alabama number 6, Michigan 5, Clemson 4, Georgia at number 3. So I don't know. I guess I would have given them plenty of credit, the committee, if they would have just stuck to the guns and gone 1-2 Tennessee, Georgia, because it makes for a better storyline. But nevertheless, they did not stick to that guns. And as we await the number 2, let's ask you guys this question. Of these top 25 teams, who is the most overrated? As I just got in my ear, we have number 2, so we can go back to the bracket here in a second. Number 2 team is Ohio State, and that means the number 1 team in the college football rankings, top 25, is the Tennessee Volunteers. They will travel on the road on Saturday to number 3, Georgia. Your top 6, Tennessee, Ohio State, Georgia, Clemson, Michigan, and Alabama. So that is the top 25. Michigan ranked number 5 in the initial CFP. Let's go back to the one-word reaction if we can, Jack. I want to give a few shout-outs. Let's see what the people think on this one. Let me know what you guys think. Your one-word reaction to Michigan's initial ranking, number 5 in the college football playoff initial top 25. Ranked below Clemson, clearly ranked below Georgia and Tennessee. We knew that was going to happen. Thought there was an outside chance they could be ranked against ahead of Ohio State, but it did not happen. Let me know what you guys think. Light up the live chat. We're going to be putting this on the channel later as well as an on-demand cut. We're getting temporary, effed, terrible, same as last year from CJ Wolverine. That is true as well. So let's take a look at the top 25 one more time to roll through you guys if you didn't see it yet. UCF, Texas, Oregon State, NC State, and Wake Forest are 21 through 25. Then you've got Syracuse, Tulane, Oklahoma State, who got crushed this past week, and North Carolina and Illinois. Illinois is at number 16. Keeping the Big Ten theme, number 15, Penn State with 2 losses to Ohio State, and Michigan with a win over Minnesota in between there. Utah, Kansas State, UCLA, and Ole Miss. The SECs, they're just getting overranked at all times, right? Ole Miss is higher than the AP ranking. LSU is way higher than their AP ranking. You have USC at number 9, Oregon at number 8, and then what is TCU? What do they have to do to get ranked above Alabama, right? What's Alabama's best thing they've done this year? They've lost a close game to now number 1 Tennessee, almost lost to 2 Texas schools, A&M, and the Longhorns. I think Texas or Alabama being at number 6 is an absolute sham. But they are your top 6. Alabama, Michigan at number 5, complete shambles, completely ridiculous, but nevertheless, it is what it is. And you've got Clemson, Georgia, Ohio State at number 2, and then Tennessee is ranked at number 1. Let me know what your college football playoff committee rankings grade is. Give me an A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know down in the comments and here on the live chat. Give me an A, B, C, D, or F. I'll give a few shout outs here. Then we're going to cut this and clip it and put it on the channel here in a few minutes. So if you're watching it later, thank you so much. Make sure you watch the live show next time. Got a ton of Fs coming through. Keep them rolling on the live chat. And if you're watching later on here on Tuesday night, A, B, C, D, or F. Grade the college football playoff rankings, or college football playoff committee's initial rankings. Let's keep it rolling here on the live show. I'm going to give some shout-outs for what you guys are saying. Austin Singleton says F. I got Manuel Riggins giving it a bunch of Fs. F- from Eastside Zach. We've got Coobs with a D, okay. Can't wait to watch Michigan spank a number 1 ranked OSU. It's coming from Emmanuel Hall. Well, next week it's going to be either Tennessee, Georgia will be number 1, right? The winner of that game will be number 1. And I think that means Michigan will be number 4 next week unless Clemson loses Notre Dame, which is potential. But I'd love to see Tennessee and Georgia, the loser of that game, lose a game in the next few weeks, because then it would be great to see a number 1 versus 2 Michigan-Ohio State like we haven't seen since the 2006 season. So let me know A, B, C, D, or F. Let's keep that rolling. I'll keep giving shout-outs in the live chat. Toss this one up, Jack. would you like to see Michigan beat Ohio State again? All right, let's not jinx it. You guys are familiar with this little tactic that we use to, get everybody on the same page. Put the good vibes out there in the world. Like the video. Let's see how many of you guys get there. What do we have? 141 likes. That's it? 141 likes? 156 likes going now. Let's see if we can get to 175, and we will move on to more on this story. Michigan, number 5, absolutely ridiculous. So let's just get some more likes on this video to make sure that we're putting out the good vibes in the world of what this channel and this team should be doing. But they're going to beat Ohio State. Let's like them and beat Ohio State again, like this video. Which Jackie said, you got a what coming in? All right, Jack says he needs a second here. We'll stick on this for a second. He's got something good cooking up for us. I'll take some questions here while we're waiting. Michael says Michigan will beat that toilet bowl team below us 37-23. Hunter says, again, I think this might be a blessings. Gives the boys a chip on the shoulders. Austin Holland with a Bosa. And now we're at 181 likes. So we'll keep this bad boy rolling. Have 450 of you guys watching. All right. Toss it up on the channel, Jack. It's the day after Halloween. The college football chairman, is his name Boo Corrigan? His name is Boo Corrigan. So let's welcome him to the show. Should he tune in and watch it here on YouTube, the Michigan Football Report by Chat Sports. Let's type some boos. I'm getting in there. Boo. I'm typing it myself, okay? I'm not even waiting around for you people to type it. I'm typing it because it's a complete travesty what this Michigan football team is completely disrespected. Once again, no one thought they would beat Ohio State last year. No one thought that they would be any good this year. In a lot of ways, I think they were ranked number 7 or 8 to start the season, and it's quite the predicament that we're in. So keep typing the boos, keep it rolling here on the Michigan Football Report. Have about 70 or so people in the last minute have typed boo. I see that chat right popping. With you have 424 people watching live here on the Michigan Football Report. 64 was the chat right there. So. Keep typing the boo. The CFP chairman is Boo Corrigan. I would have just changed my name if I was him. That's a terrible name, but nevertheless, that is the ask. Keep typing boos. John Ray says boo. J.H. Chase, Greg, Austin J, Michael again, Greg, and Travis Mitchell says boo Osa. I like that one. Boo when they turn it into a Bosa. Good stuff from Travis. Travis, good to see you back here on the Michigan Football Report. All right, we are going to dive into some things. What do you want to do, Jack? Do you want to take questions or do you want to go to the preview? Let's actually ask the people, all right? Let's answer this, and then we'll ask the people. You can bring me full screen here in a moment. Who's going to win the Heisman? Let's see what you guys are taking here. These are the 3 top contenders for the Heisman Trophy as far as I see it right now. Blake Corum with a BC. Give me a BC in the comments. Hendon Hooker. If he wins Saturday against Georgia, he is your unquestioned favorite. If he loses, he's got a lot of work to do. If he does lose and Michigan and Ohio State both win out and face each other, I truly believe that the winner of the Michigan-Ohio State game will also crown the Heisman Trophy winner as long as those 2 players, C.J. Stroud and Blake Corum, continue the statistical fury that they've been on over the past 8 or so games. So let me know, BC, HH, or CJ. I mean, it's pretty much 100% BCs at this point. Would expect nothing less from the best-looking, smartest, most intelligent, and most insightful crowd and audience in all of college football. That is you, the crowd of the Michigan Football Report. All right, so we've got 2 things we want to do on today's show. I do want to preview the Rutgers game coming up on Saturday, but I also want to lose a bunch of audience who wants to talk about this story. So let me know what you guys think. Type in preview or type in questions. We're going to do them both, but which one are we going to do first? Which one are we going to go to right now? Preview or questions? Maybe we can. Let's just do this, Jack. I'm going to let's just create a poll. Next, I'm going to create a poll here. I got you. Okay, so if you guys see, where does it show up, Jack? At the very top of the chat? Okay, just pop up in the chat. If it doesn't yet, refresh the Michigan-Ohio State poll, the Ohio State poll, Michigan State poll that I had up there. It says, what do we do next? Questions or preview? 57% of you so far have said questions. Let's just do a stopwatch here. I'm going to give 60 seconds to let you guys pick which one, preview or question. So you see there. Let's keep that bad boy rolling. 5 seconds in. Let's see what you guys are thinking. Becky and Chad, this should motivate Michigan to whoop OSU's ass. Carl Coral says, Where'd he go there? Carl's question skipped up. I apologize, Carl, as I'm looking down, squinting. Let me know what you guys think. Vote in this poll. Jack, I'm going to let you just let me know who's winning the poll. It's 50-50 right now, preview or questions, and we're going to do both. So either way, doesn't matter to me which way we go. We're at 30 seconds, so 30 seconds left. Get those poll questions, those votes in at the top of the live chat. Type what we do next, preview of Rutgers, or take your questions here on the Michigan Football Report live. We'll do both of them, but let you guys pick which is next. Got 13 seconds left. Where are we at, Jack? Update, let me know. Questions got the lead, 57% for questions. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Confirmed. The questions have it, so we'll stay live here. Take your questions for about next 15 minutes or so, and then we will dive into my Michigan Rutgers preview, which is really more of a preview of a massacre, honestly. That's kind of what it looks like from where I stand for Michigan Rutgers coming up here on Saturday night. Michigan's second of two back-to-back night games. A lot of talk still that Michigan will have a night game coming up against Illinois, although I think Michigan's going to deny that request from the TV networks that they do so. But use hashtag Michigan or Super Chat. You can type whatever you want in the live chat. But if you use hashtag Michigan, it goes straight to the queue for producer Jack. And if you Super Chat, you can jump the line. Let's toss up really quick before we jump into the questions, Jack. Let's toss up the Super Chat menu one more time so you guys all have an understanding of what the Super Chat menu is going to look like. $1 Super Chat. The rest of this live show, I will give you a shout out, which I'm doing a bunch of you guys. Maybe it just helps us out. We'll put your name and everything on screen, get you a shout out. A $5, you can ask a question and skip the line, kind of jump ahead during this live Q&A. Anytime you put a $5 in this entire show, though, we will answer it live, and you'll be the next question we take. $25. If anybody wants to do a $25 Super Chat tonight here on the show live, I will sing the victors for every individual person who sends a $25 Super Chat in. So let me know what you guys are thinking here. Use hashtag Michigan to get your questions in on today's show. You are watching the Michigan Football Report. Following the College Football Playoff Top 25 rankings, we're taking questions on this 2022 Michigan football team. We're going to kind of dive into all things surrounding the rest of the schedule, Ohio State, the College Football Playoff Top 25, the offense, the defense, whatever you guys want. We are going to take a handful of questions from you guys. First question in the queue that Jack put up there says, Sloppy T, go blue. Probably the kind of guy who's got stuff all over his hands when he touches your fridge. Sloppy T. Can Michigan slow down the Ohio State offense? It's a very good question. So I look to what Michigan had last year on defense that did shut down Ohio State's offense in a lot of ways. Didn't shut them down. They scored 27 points. C.J. Stroud had plenty of passing yards. He was bailed out by a couple of ridiculous catches down the stretch. But what Michigan doesn't have this year is those two defensive ends coming off the edge that can get a sack on any offensive line in the country. Now, Michigan's kind of bought a committee pass rush that's done well for them so far. But more sacks at this point of the year than last year, but a lot of those came against worse competition. So I do think they can at least slow them down. Shut them down, no, but slow them down as Sloppy T asks. I believe they can. It's going to come down to whether Michigan's offensive line and the running game of Blake Corum, J.J. McCarthy, Donovan Edwards can do what they did with Hassan Haskins last year, and Blake Corum in some regards is just physically outman Ohio State in the second half. Not let the first half get out of hand by any means. Make sure it's within a one-score game or so at halftime. And if that's the case, Michigan can drop back in 5 and 6 coverage. Don't let Ohio State go over the top. Let them dink and dunk underneath, as much as they want. And then Michigan's going to put themselves in a position to win the last 3 games, folks, combined. Michigan has given up 3 points, right? And I think that's what you're going to see against Ohio State. Keep the game close in the first half. Outman them, outmuscle them. As you get deeper into the game, and that is what we'll see down in Columbus in, 25 days from tonight. Go ahead and give me a go blue in the comments or live chat if you're a Michigan football fan. Jack said we had some Tennessee and Ohio State haters in the live show, so he wants us to give a go blue down in the comments. So if you're a Michigan fan, type go blue. If you're not a Michigan fan, let's see who you're repping down there in the chat, and we'll kind of take a look at who else is representing. Light up the chat with a bunch of go blues. Let's see who's repping from the Michigan football fan base. Don with a $2 super chat says 4 more MSU players suspended, criminal charges next. Yeah, we said that a little bit ago on the live show. 8 total players. By the way, Keon Coleman, who's the wide receiver for Michigan State that scored the touchdown, they had like one more long pass. He really put out a really classless thing. I actually want to read it to you guys. I wish we had it to put up on screen, but it's pretty classless. He put on Instagram, he put a bunch of pictures of him and Jamon Green, right? His couple catches were on Jamon Green. Right? I'll show that one there. And it says, head taps, this ain't no duck, duck, goose. Head taps, ain't no duck, duck, goose. Clown, and then like a blowing your nose emoji. Maybe the rumors that Jamon Green broke his nose. It's a bunch of pictures of him and Jamon Green. Just completely classless, right? The fact that they jumped Jamon Green, hit him over the head 3 or 4 times, the back, the shoulders with the helmet, absolutely classless. And I think that's what you're getting out of this Michigan State program is a overall classless program. Lone Reaper says, I think they want Tennessee at 1 so they win or lose, they're in. What are your thoughts? Hashtag Michigan. Lone Reaper, I think Michigan needs to win out, of course, and they are in the college football playoff, and all this becomes a moot point. But what the college football playoff committee seems to be at least trying to do this year and in past years is to make sure we have 2 SEC teams, right? And maybe that's correct, right? Last year, Michigan lost to Georgia, okay? Cincinnati got outmanned. They were number 4 by Alabama. And you had two SEC teams in the national title game. Same as 4 years prior, 2017, you had 2 SEC teams in the national title game. You had it back in 2011 as well, 2 SEC teams in the national title game. So they have certainly earned it with the titles and the dominance from Alabama over the past 15 years. You mix in Tennessee, Georgia, LSU, and Florida not for a while, but I think it's there. But what could happen here is Georgia, Tennessee winner could potentially win, or loser could win out, and then the other one beats Alabama, loses to Alabama, doesn't really matter. You could end up, I guess Alabama would have to win that game. You could end up with 3 one-loss SEC teams if Alabama were to win out, win the SEC. And maybe they're trying to set it up so 3 SEC teams make it in. I think that would be an absolute travesty because the national interest would come way, way down. Go Blue says, James, my internet is down. Where is MSU ranked? What a guy here. What a comment. Amazing stuff from Go Blue. This goes on the joke we had. I don't know if you guys saw this. I put it on Twitter. During the game, my block, they shut down the Saturday of Halloween weekend from like halfway down the street to the corner. And everybody kind of had a front yard party. I was on my phone, but in and out watching the game. I had an AirPod in. And middle of the third quarter, when Michigan went up by 2 scores, I pulled my direct across the street neighbor. Him and his family are watching the game outside. They're going inside out. I went up to him and said, hey, our power's down. What's the Michigan State score? And he thought for a second. He looked at my house, thought. He's like, are you serious? It's 19-7 Michigan. I'm like, got him. And I just kind of walked away. And he was trying to be a nice guy. He's a very nice guy, but I had to rib him just there a little bit. Funny stuff. Go Blue. Really appreciate all the support from everyone there on the show today. And I want to thank Established Titles for the support for sponsoring today's show and making me an official Lord of Scotland. Look at that bad boy, folks. James Yoder, I'm a landowner in Scotland, and you can be too. Grab a plot of land next to me, Scottish land. Be a part of the Scottish nobility and help trees, right? Trees for the future. They will plant a tree for every new customer that they get at Established Titles. This is our plot of land. Established Titles is a fun and novel way to preserve the woodlands of Scotland. You can get yourself an amazing plaque, an amazing, what would you call this, Jack? This is a certificate, but a frame certificate, I should say. That's what I wanted to say, that you are an official Scottish landholder, and it is a way to give a great gift. I really recommend if you're looking for a last-minute gift that'll kind of blow someone's mind because they've never even heard of something like this, you can make them a Scottish landowner, get themselves a certificate, and save 10% off through promo code CHAT. Save an extra 10% off, the perfect holiday gift. If you've got a mother, an aunt, an older brother, whoever it is that you don't know what to get for them, go to Established Titles, get them admittedly kind of a gag gift, but I don't think that's a bad thing to say. Become a Scottish laird or Scottish lady or lord. I guess lairds is kind of the combined name with Established Titles. EstablishedTitles.com/chat. Get 10% off. The link is down in the comments and the description of today's video. And we toss in the live chat. Boom, in the live chat right there for you guys watching on YouTube Live. One of the most, I guess, longtime viewers of the show, Becky and Chad, thanks so much for watching. Can Cade get, what does that say? Can Cade fix our red zone issues? Yeah, I'm blind. I can't see across the room there. Sometimes. I think that's a problem, Jack. We got to fix my eyes at some point. I don't know. Like, what are we doing here with the Michigan offense in the red zone? It is confusing. It's frustrating. But is there some sort of method to the madness for Michigan? Are they trying to fool Ohio State in some ways? I said before the game against Michigan State, what we get out of the passing game in this game, 8 games in, I think that's just what the passing game is at this point. I kind of believe that. And if that's the case, the passing game doesn't include really anything inside of the 20s. So that's actually a challenge when it comes to thinking about how they're going to beat, how they can outscore potentially Ohio State coming up on November 26th. So I don't think Cade's the guy, unfortunately. I think JJ's legs give them a dimension. But then I also think back to last year. Michigan scored 6 touchdowns. I believe all of them were in the red zone, in the game against Ohio State. 5 of them from Hassan Haskins, and then the first one on a reverse from A.J. Henning. So if Michigan could do that this year, you don't need to pass in the red zone. But I just can't imagine that Ohio State won't be ready for it. So we'll see. I don't think Cade McNamara is the guy, though, for Michigan's red zone woes. Will Michigan and Ohio State wear alt uniforms this year? From Young Buck 44. Now, Jack saw this question come in earlier in the show, so he said, I got something for you on the Michigan and Ohio State alt uniforms idea. Okay, so Uniform Yoder is what they're calling me here. Michigan and Ohio State. I've been saying this for probably a decade at this point. First, when Michigan started rolling out alternate uniforms in the 2011 season against Notre Dame and others, that Michigan and Ohio State has the opportunity to wear home uniforms every year like UCLA and USC do. And with the advent of the all-blue uniforms or the all-red that Ohio State rolled out last year against Penn State, the all-scarlet, take a look at this. I would love to see this. Jack, thank you so much for putting this together on the fly. The Michigan-Ohio State color rush. All blues, all scarlets, no matter who's the home team, Michigan, Ohio State. I would absolutely love to see this. That would be amazing if they played in those ones. Now, even if you can't get those ones, if you can't get the all blues and all reds for some reason, the players don't like it, the coaches don't like it, the fans, the alumni, whatever it is, then wear all homes because they would look a hell of a lot better than I think the white uniforms that Michigan, Ohio State roll out every year for the trip up north or down south for the best rivalry in all of college football. Answer this question, though. Should Michigan and Ohio State both wear home uniforms? The color rush, though, we'll consider those home uniforms, even though they aren't the traditional ones. But colored, jerseys, the maize, the blue, or the scarlet, whatever it is, should Michigan and Ohio State both wear home uniforms? I have said yes for a number of years, maybe a decade or more. So let me know what you guys think. Give me a Y or N down in the comment. Does the number 5 ranking reflect our strength of schedule or lack of a truly dominant win against OSU? It's probably both, actually, right? I don't know if it's either one. As we're saying this, I really want to look at, really quick, Clemson's strength of schedule, what Clemson has going on this year, because they have had a number of ranked wins, but most of those teams didn't turn out to be that well. Beat number 21 Wake Forest 51-45. 51-45 against Wake Forest. NC State, they won by 10. They were number 10 at the time. They squeaked by Florida State. They squeaked by Syracuse. They won by 4 touchdowns, 31-3 over Boston College. And what else have they done this year? They went over Furman, Louisiana Tech, Georgia Tech. That's a pretty bad resume for me. They've got Notre Dame, Louisville, Miami, and South Carolina coming up. I think 2 of those 4 are losable. Notre Dame on the road, and then at home against South Carolina, who admittedly was looking good for a while, but then lost to Missouri this past weekend. I think it is probably more of the committee trying to punish Michigan for having 3 very weak opponents to start the year and then not dropping 50 a game like Ohio State and Tennessee have through most of the year. And then, Michigan's got 1 ranked win over Penn State. In theory, Clemson has 3, at least at the time of the game was played. Sports Geek says, what's your prediction for Ohio State? What's your prediction versus Ohio State? I think Michigan's going to win. I'm not going to guarantee it. I think it's as tough of a game that they're going to play in generations. Right? You go down to Ohio State and you try and get that win. This is a better Ohio State team than 2006. This is a better Ohio State team than 2016. I completely believe that. I think the 2020 Ohio State team would have beat this 2022 Ohio State team, but Michigan didn't play that year, right? So in a lot of ways, this is probably the toughest Ohio State team that Michigan's going to have to play on the road in Columbus since when they have a chance to win, right? I'm not counting like 2014, plenty of other years, but Michigan was not a good program for a long stretch of time. I would say 2002, 1996, 1998, those are years that Michigan had a chance to win, was a formidable opponent, but Ohio State was, one of the best teams in college football all those years. It hasn't happened in a long time. 2000, Drew Henson, the last time Michigan got the win on the road versus, in Ohio State in Columbus. I want you guys to grade the Michigan football passing offense through 8 games. I'll take a look at the live chat, but also get down below in the comments if you're watching later on demand. Let me know what you guys think, A, B, C, D, or F. I'm saying C+ at this point. J.J. McCarthy completing 75% of his passes is the plus. That is B+. That's the plus and the C in a little bit of ways. But the downside of that is the fact that the receivers are just Ronnie Bell, again, I said at the beginning of the season, how many touchdowns we have? Over or under 5? And people were calling me the foulest names in the world that I said I thought 5 might not be a number he gets because he's only had a few touchdowns his entire Michigan football career. People say, he's way more than 5, way more than 5. I think I was even bullied into saying, well, okay, he'll probably have 8 or something like that. And he's got 1. Cornelius Johnson, Roman Wilson, they each have 3. But where those touchdowns come, right? A lot of them came in the early games against the UConns and Hawaiis of the world. So I'm going with a C+ as of right now. But it's got to get better if Michigan's going to have any chance of not just beating Ohio State, but how about beating Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama, whoever they face potentially in the college football playoff game. Excuse me. Cameron says, will recruiting get better? Well, you got 2 fish out there that Michigan needs to fry. I need to get a quick drink of water here. I'm going to pop over here. Nicholas Harbor, who was apparently going to wait until February or later to announce, but just put the word out there yesterday that he intends to, at this point, decide before the mid-December early signing period, although he won't be an early enrollee. He'll stick around in high school and play in his spring track season. And then there's Jaden Davis, the 2024 5-star. You need to get a commitment from both those guys, I think, to kind of wash the stink off this 2023 class, have some momentum into 2024. Michigan right now is borderline top 25 class. There's a lot of recruits out there that are taking notice, that are considering Michigan, but there haven't been much commits. There haven't been a lot of momentum during the season. So after the Ohio State game, no matter if it's a win or a loss, Michigan's got about a 4-week window that they've really got to put the pedal to the metal, because this class right now, it won't take effect next year. It won't hurt the team next year. It won't even hurt the team probably the year after that. But we might be sitting here in 2025, 2026 saying, how did this team get so bad? Why are we a 7-5 team? Well, you get 1 or 2 recruiting classes in a row that stink, like this one, not saying an individual player, but as a collective kind of stinks so far. It could really hurt the long-term viability of your program. Oscar says, who is the best wide receiver in Michigan, excluding Ronnie Bell? Your guess is as good as mine. I would say Roman Wilson, but he's not even getting a ton of snaps half the games, right? Most of the games you see other players. Andrew Anthony gets more snaps than him in quite a few games. I'm interested to see what happens next year. Darius Clemens and some others. There's a lot of buzz around these freshmen that haven't done a ton this year. I'll say Roman Wilson for now. I think Cornelius Johnson has struggled to get open, unless it's just a shot right down the field as a streak pattern. And it could actually be Luke Schoonmaker, although he's not a wide receiver. Hell, it could be Donovan Edwards. The receiving group as a whole, including Ronnie Bell, I would give like a D+ so far throughout this year. I think I gave him like a C at the midseason grades, but they didn't do anything against Michigan State that would recommend that I give him a higher grade. So I'm giving him like a D+ for a collective so far in 2022. I can ask you guys to like the video. Again, if you haven't yet, like the video if you would like to beat Ohio State again. The hashtag Bosa. Make sure you guys get down there get down there below the video. Hit that thumbs up if you would like to beat Ohio State again. Like this video. Don't jinx it. Don't maybe track you down on November 27th. If Michigan to lose, it's going to be your fault if you don't like the video. Give me a like if you would like for Michigan to beat Ohio State. Speaking of Ohio State, how about Bosa? It's It's the rallying cry. It's the cheer of this Michigan football program that was started by me. Nevertheless, make sure you guys are typing BOSA. Let's see the BOSAs light up the comment section. BOSA, beat Ohio State again. Keep them rolling. Give me some BOSAs in the comments. I'll give some shout-outs here on the live show before we get there. I've got Green Arrow, Becky and Chad, Ryan Love, giving me a BOSA. I got my Michigan football chain that I just kind of had to get off something. BOSA from KCY28, Bill Graves, Mike G, Jess Ariola, giving me, he scored a long pass. I'm not sure what that's in reference to. BOSA from Becky and Chad, Steve Powers, Scoobyism3, Oscar again with a BOSA. John Stoops says OSU is overrated and going to get beat again this year, same as last year. Rick Heifert, Yoder for president. I'm not saying I wouldn't run, but I'm not saying I wouldn't run either, whatever that one is. Keep them rolling. BOSA, 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 BOSA. And we're going to pop into previewing the Michigan-Rutgers game here in a second. But before we do, just one last ask, because I just want to kind of keep the vibes going. Type Go Blue. If you are a Michigan football fan, type Go Blue as we are setting up now to preview the Rutgers game. The number 5 Michigan Wolverines. 5. I can't believe that, Jack. Can you believe that? Ranked below Clemson. Clemson stinks. Their quarterback couldn't even get a scholarship at Michigan at this point. They stink. So type Go Blue down in the comments if you're a Michigan football fan. While Jack is getting things rolling for our Michigan-Rutgers preview, I've got a BOSA from Matthew C. I've got a Clemson Sucks from Ethan St. Pierre, Rick Heifert, Becky and Chad, Oscar. Jack, let me click on you. Are you at the top here? Put your mouse where I need to be for the Rutgers part on our show script, and we will get rolling here with our Michigan-Rutgers preview. Keep typing the Go Blues down in the comments. Now, we are going to preview Michigan-Rutgers. I've dove into everything that this program is looking at against Rutgers coming up on Saturday night in Piscataway, New Jersey. So we're going to preview Michigan-Rutgers right now. I'm your host, James Yoder. It's the Michigan-Rutgers preview here on the Michigan Football Report. We haven't done a ton of true previews so far this season. Frankly, it's kind of because the schedule has been quite a few cupcake teams, including Penn State, including Michigan State. I didn't think that those teams really had a chance to beat Michigan in any regards. But we're coming down the stretch here. 4 games left on the schedule, and Michigan will play their third of 4 night games this year. After this one, the only other road games after this game at Rutgers Saturday night, Michigan's only other road game will be Ohio State on November 26th. You see that one. It's the night game on Big Ten Network coming up on Saturday. Michigan is a 26.5-point favorite. Over-under is 45, so they're not expecting much out of Rutgers' offense at all. But that also signals that Rutgers' defense is a lot better than I think a lot of people realize, and we'll review some of the stats that has put them up amongst the leaders in the country in many categories so far through 8 games this season. But before we jump into all the ins and outs of this game, predict the score, I'm just kind of going off the cusp here. I think I've given 3 or 4 score predictions this week. I'm going to go, Jack, do you remember what I said a couple days ago? No. I'm going to go 42-3 is what Michigan will score. I think the 42 will probably be tougher than the 3. I wouldn't be surprised if Michigan shut Rutgers out because their offense is brutal. But let me know what you guys think. Comment your score, Michigan-Rutgers, coming up 7:30 Big Ten Network on Saturday. Folks, this Rutgers team is in a lot of ways in shambles. They are 1-4 in the Big Ten, 4-4 overall. They fired their offensive coordinator, Sean Gleason, after 6 games. Last 2, they've had Nunzio Campanelli. You guys remember his brother, I think it was Anthony, was Michigan's linebackers coach like 4 years ago. He's the running backs coach, now the interim offensive coordinator for Greg Schiano. They lost their leading rusher, Sam Brown, last week. He didn't play in the game against Minnesota. And then starting quarterback Gavin Wimsatt, he started the game against Minnesota. They got shut out, and he got hurt in the 4th quarter. There was speculation Sunday into Monday that he might not be able to participate in the game, but Rutgers made the announcement yesterday evening that he will, the redshirt freshman quarterback, be the starting quarterback for the Michigan game coming up on Saturday. We've got more on this game. You saw this point spread. Make sure you're getting rolling with BetUS should you want to put some money on your Michigan Wolverines coming up Saturday against Rutgers, or any college football game. There's games today, there's games tomorrow. A little tickle in the throat there. We've been live for a little while. And you can get going with BetUS, our preferred sportsbook partner. Promo code GoBlue at chatsports.com/GoBlue gets you a 125% deposit bonus. Wait, got the producers in the air. We're bringing it back. Toss it up on the screen, Jack. You get the 125% deposit bonus, and since it's November 1st, they're bringing back the jersey promo. So take a look, screenshot this if you're on your phone. You got to follow these steps exactly, or it really causes a lot of customer service issues. Chatsports.com/GoBlue. Don't just go Google and BetUS. Go to that link. It'll kind of track your redirect. It'll redirect you to BetUS, track you to this promotion. Sign up and deposit. Got to put in at least $100 or more. You get your 125% deposit bonus. After you make your first bet, email us, jersey@chatsports.com. Make sure you just send us your BetUS account number off the top so we can confirm it with a list they send us, and then we will get your information, your size, your address, and ship you a Jordan brand Michigan football jersey. The number ones are the ones in stock, so please, don't ask for a Timunga Biakabatuka jersey or anything like that. But from time to time, if there's other availability, we'll let you know. But number one is kind of the standard. That's all we can kind of guarantee for you. But chatsports.com/GoBlue, promo code GoBlue. Get going with BetUS. Make your first deposit and a bet, and email us, jersey@chatsports.com. The email address is down in the comments and the description of today's video. Jersey@chatsports.com. After you get started at chatsports.com/GoBlue with our sportsbook partner, BetUS, using promo code GoBlue. This Rutgers team started off okay. They got the win on the road at Boston College. Then Wagner, they beat 66-7. Beat Temple 16-14 on the road against Temple. But then reality struck. They got into the Big Ten season. They let Iowa score 27 points on them. How the hell does that happen? Ohio State beat them 49-10. Nebraska beat them by 1. They got the win against Indiana with their first game as Nunzio Campanelli as their offensive coordinator. But he didn't really fare too well with their redshirt freshman quarterback in his first start. They got crushed against Minnesota this past Saturday, 31-0. But how about this stat for us? Jim Harbaugh, in his games against Rutgers, and they play him every single year, and that includes the game 2 years ago when Rutgers was up on Michigan by 17 points at one point in the first half. Harbaugh has averaged 33.1 points per game margin of victory in his tenure against Rutgers. I think it's 7 games so far. I think they play him every single year, if I'm not mistaken there. 33.5 points. The spread is 26.5. So we know the 2016 78-0 skews that a little bit, but mostly Jim Harbaugh has absolutely beat the behind of Rutgers in his tenure as the Michigan football head coach. We're at 22,520 subscribers. If you have yet to subscribe to this channel, we are putting out a video every single day. We're doing live shows weekly going forward the rest of the Michigan football season. YouTube.com/Michigan TV. The link's down in the comments, the description. You guys know the drill. If you haven't yet, send it to a friend who likes Michigan football as well. I think the best recommendations in life come from a friend. Help us out. If you like the show, if you even think we're a little bit entertaining, every member of the audience counts. I'm sure someone you'd recommend it to would become a kind of a power viewer based on your recommendation. YouTube.com/Michigan TV. Take a look at Rutgers offense versus Minnesota. 134 yards. That's a typo, right? 134 yards. This looks like Michigan State in 2018 when they got like 90 yards against Michigan. 134 yards, 86 passing yards, 48 rushing yards, and you see the number at the bottom of the screen. Big 0, 0, zilp, zilch, 0 points. Their quarterback, redshirt freshman Gavin Wimsatt, 6 of 17. I repeat myself, 6 of 17, 68 yards, and 1 interception, no touchdowns for their quarterback in his first start under center. Now, he came out of the game with an injury. There's some speculation. Was it a shoulder? Was it a concussion? Something like that. I don't actually know the details on that. Most college football teams aren't very forthright when it comes to injury news, and I really wasn't going to dive down a rabbit hole of Rutgers insiders to find it out. But he's starting. Greg Schiano said yesterday he will get the second start against Michigan. I watched all 17 of his throws on the Big Ten and 60 replay the other night, and let me just say this. If he throws for over 125 yards against Michigan, 100 yards even potentially, Michigan's done something really wrong. Now, they might just go throwing the ball at the end of the game nonstop because Michigan might be up by 3, 4, 5 scores, and their starting running back was injured, and he's been out for the last game and now will be out the rest of the season. But nevertheless, this guy can't throw the ball very well, and he should not be able to throw the ball very well at all against Michigan. So I'll ask you guys the question on the screen. How many points will Rutgers score Saturday night in Piscataway, New Jersey? There will be no pandemonium in Piscataway this time, with my guy in the live show, D. Carmelo7, saying, Bosa bitches. Yeah, I like that. Okay. There's some chat. Buddha Belly, you're an idiot. What's going on here in the live chat, Jack? I think there's some Ohio State fans have infiltrated. Luca. Oh my gosh, there's Ohio State fans in the chat. We'll leave them. We'll let them hang. You guys need to drown out the Ohio State fans. Just keep typing. Just type Go Blue. Type me if you're watching live. But also let me know how many points will Rutgers score versus Michigan. I'm not going to say crazy and say 0, but I think it's probably 0. But I'm going to say 3 was my prediction. I'm seeing a few zeros. Bill Graves says 6. Green Arrow says 7. 6 from Rick. In F Ohio from Damian Harmon, and then Vontae Andretti, he puts a 0, but he made the Ohio State 0, the O. So we got Ohio State fan. Scuba Photo says 7. How many points will Rutgers score versus Michigan? Let me know down in the comments. I'm saying 3. Their offense is nothing to worry about. Their defense, though, pretty damn good defense, guys. I mean, look, this is not a defense 2 thing. Michigan's going to completely roll over them, right? They've had a few weaker opponents, but they played Boston College. That's a formidable school. They played Temple. That's not anything to sneeze at. And this is the number 13 ranked defense in the country when it comes to 295 yards per game. Passing, number 21 ranked defense in the country, only 187. Number 19 against the run, only 108 yards per game they're giving up in the running game for this Rutgers defense. Greg Schiano, known defensive coach, was an NFL head coach, was a Rutgers head coach, did a heck of a job a few years at Ohio State, although he kind of fell apart there at the end with the Buckeyes. They had a really bad defensive season in 2018. And then 22.5 points per game. Given that they're 4-4, given that they're 1-4 in the Big Ten, that is surprising because you'd think it'd be a little bit higher than that, considering they lost 4 games so far. So they are number 44 against in the country right now out of 133 teams in scoring. Switching gears for a second here before we finish our Rutgers preview. Should Michigan State players, especially the ones that were hitting Jamon Green over the head, or the 6, 7, 8 players who cornered Jaden McBurrows, should they be criminally prosecuted? I don't know. That's a tough one. Should they be suspended for a game or 2? Absolutely. Maybe the rest of the season, especially the ones who swung. And I thought there was a couple good statements out there from Michigan players. I think it was Darius Clemens said, these guys had 60 minutes on the field, right, to put their hands all over us, do whatever they want, manhandle us, but they waited till after the game to kind of show what they can do with their fists, show what they can do with their helmets. Kind of a B move, right? We get that, B. I'm not going to swear for the kids watching, but it's a little bit of a move to do it in the tunnel. When Michigan only had 2 guys there. But criminally prosecuted could potentially affect the rest of their life. I don't know the answer to that. I'm not going to jump right in. Maybe 1 or 2 of them, but let's see if there's any. Has there been an apology yet? Maybe if there's an apology, we can reconsider. But I want to know from you guys. Give me a Y for yes or an N for no. How about Blake Corum? Can he continue this Heisman palooza that he has been on? The last 5 games are among the best of any Michigan running back this century, right? Right up against Mike Hart's 5-game stretch in 2004. Now, Hart had a couple. He had multiple 200-yard games where Corum only has 1 200-yard games. But Corum, I think, was hurt by the fact that Michigan was up so damn much against Hawaii and Colorado State and UConn is that they didn't play him in the second half. He had like 12 carries, 9 carries, 10 carries. The last 5 games, though, folks, since you got out of that cupcake early schedule, they've been going to him heavy. He's a workhorse. 30 carries in 2 of the games, 33 this past week. But look at those numbers. 33, 177, and 1 touchdown rushing, plus 1 passing. These are his rushing yards. 28, 166, 25, 124, 29, and 30 carries, 243 yards against Maryland and those 2 touchdowns. But he did get the bump with the 5-touchdown game against UConn. But nevertheless, he is on pace right now with he's ahead of pace for the last 2 Heisman winners, Derrick Henry and what's the other guy's name? Derrick Henry and Mark Ingram, Alabama, State of Michigan native. Didn't spurn Michigan and Michigan State back in the 08 recruiting class. But Derrick Henry, if you look at his stats, the last 5 or 6 games, right, leading up, I think it was the last 4 games, plus the SEC title game, because the bowl game, college football playoff doesn't count. He had like 240, 190, 220, 218, 175 or something like that, and 11 or 12 touchdowns over his last 5 games. So Blake Corum has got to keep up this pace if he's historically going to compare to the most recent Heisman Trophy winning running back, Derrick Henry, in 2015. I'll ask you guys this question coming up on Saturday night. Will Blake Corum have over or under 125 yards rushing? Let me know what you guys think. Give me an O for over, a U for under. I'm going to say over because the numbers show us that that's where we would go there. But I fear with a team like Rutgers that Michigan could be up, 31-0 at halftime, and maybe Michigan decides this is the game where we're going to kind of, lighten the load on Blake Corum a little bit, maybe, and maybe he deserves it. But I'm going to go over for now. But let me know, Blake Corum, 125 yards, over or under. Keep it rolling. I'm going to give some shout-outs to people commenting here on the live chat as we have we have finished out our live portion segments. So if you're watching live, you may see these. We're going to put the rankings portion up on the channel tonight. We're going to take the preview portion up on the channel tomorrow, and that Q&A portion that we took about 20 minutes ago or so, the live audience questions, we will put up on the channel, about 10-12 minutes of that, the good stuff, probably Friday or maybe Saturday morning. Depends on what the news cycle is coming out of this Michigan football week coming up against Rutgers. So what do you think, Jack? Where are we at for an audience here? What do we got watching here? 288. Can we take some more questions? Can we get some more questions? Let me know if you guys want me to take some more questions. If we get 25 people to type Y for yes in the next 60 seconds, we will continue live and take more of your questions here on the Michigan Football Report. So if you want us to type to continue to take questions here live on the show, Tuesday night, Michigan Football Report revealing the college football playoff top 25 initial rankings. Give me a Y in the comments. I've got Cody. I've got Barry McCockiner. What does that mean, Barry? Give me a Y. I got a 0 from somebody. What's this? I've seen 2 zeros. Oh, over for Blake Corum. I'm sorry. What's on screen there? So appreciate that. Low rank me a Y. Emmanuel, Justin, Angelo, Buddha Belly, who I think is an Ohio State fan. Is that right? Is that guy infiltrating the comments? Have we gotten 25 yeses yet? Y's yet, Jack? I can't tell. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, about 16 or so, 18. So 10 more. You guys need to type Y in the next 40 seconds, or we will have to sign off. I will put up a stopwatch. Let me know what you guys want. Do we want to take more questions, or do we want to end the show? There we go. There are the Y's. What is that guy? You ain't cotton me player, Manuel Riggins. I'm in Temple, brother. Oh man, Manuel Riggins. Manuel, let's get after it, my man. Let's do this thing. Send me a DM on Twitter. It's at James Yoder. We will take about 10 more minutes of your questions. So use hashtag Michigan or Super Chat to get your question here on the air. Hashtag Michigan or Super Chat. Get your questions live here on the Michigan Football Report. I am your host, James Yoder, Michigan Football Report, question and answer mailbag, taking your questions from our live show Tuesday night. If you're watching us later in the week, we might cut this and put it out there later in the week. So if you watch us live, keep watching, let it play. But you may have already seen some of these questions. We will take questions and anything you guys want, within reason, of course. So go ahead and comment them. Use hashtag Michigan so producer Jack sees them at the top of his queue, or Super Chat to jump the line and get right on the show. Jack, you may have to read this to me. My eyes are not good enough. So why do you think the committee put Clemson over Michigan? Yeah, he thinks Michigan looks better than Clemson in the eye test. He thinks Michigan would beat Clemson. I'm with you, Hebrew Hammer. Really appreciate the question here. I don't know, right? As tough as of an answer for me to give you guys that I don't know. That's just the general truth here. Is maybe they're I don't think the committee plays games as much as fans want us to think we play games, but I do also know that college football becomes a worse sport if bigger portions of the country don't care about it. And if you just turn into a two-region super sport, the Midwest and a segment of the South, then what is the West? What is the rest of the Midwest, the East? Do they not care about college football? The East Coast, the upper portion of the country, Northeast, do they stop caring about college football if they don't feel like their teams are among the elite in college football? So I'm not saying they're playing games, but maybe it's just to kind of keep the top 5, top 4 a little bit more mixed up with conference leaders. Clemson's going to get the opportunity to play their way in. If they go undefeated, they should be in the college football playoff, and they will. They'll prove it on the field against Notre Dame on Saturday on the road. They'll have an opportunity against Clemson. They'll have a very weak opponent in the ACC championship game if they make it there, and things will play each other out, play its way out. I hope that Clemson loses to Notre Dame on Saturday because I think it gives Michigan the best opportunity to get in the college football playoff no matter what happens against Ohio State on November 26th. Oscar, what does it say? Saavedra, he says, should we try and go pass heavy against Rutgers? Should, yes. Will they? I doubt it. And why do I doubt it? Because I think we just know what Jim Harbaugh is at this point. Let's go back to 2018. Riddle me this. I haven't told the story many times in my life, at least not on this show. I went to the 2018 Michigan-Ohio State game. Michigan was number 4 in the country. Ohio State was like 8th. They both lost one game at that point, but Michigan was favored, right? Michigan was coming off a streak of just dominating teams, dominating Penn State and Michigan State and a couple other teams. And they went into Columbus favored by a few points, and they got absolutely curb stomped, 62-39. And I think that 2017-2018 season, if you look back, that was kind of an explosion of offense in the college football. Baker Mayfield, Deshaun Watson, Tua Tagovailoa in 17 and 18, Dwayne Haskins, and we've kind of seen it continue on from there. And what Jim Harbaugh said to himself is like, well, this is the way we've got to win now. I've got to go do that. Go get Josh Gattis, try and do speed and space, all this different stuff. It didn't work out. 2020 season, just the complete program almost falls apart. I don't know really why or what happened there. But I think after the 2020 season, Jim Harbaugh had to, kind of beg for a supper from Michigan's athletic department, had to take a pay cut. And he said, we're not going to beat the Sunshine Boys with more sunshine, the passing happy teams with more passing. Let's zag while they're zigging. Let's zig while they're zagging. Let's become what I was at Stanford, went head-to-head with Oregon, head-to-head to USC back in 2010. Let's be the most dominant running team in the country. Someone said to me recently, a couple days ago, I said, Michigan has a chance right now to be the most dominant team on the ground that this college football sport has seen since 1995 Nebraska, if they can keep up the next 4 or 5 weeks like the last 4 or 5 weeks, right? 1995 Nebraska, in my opinion, the best team college football in my lifetime. Maybe LSU 2019 could rival them, but most dominant, 1995 Nebraska. Go ahead and predict the score, guys. Michigan heading on the road for a night game. Second night game in a row. First one on the road so far this year. The previous few night games, Indiana, Iowa, etc., those were noon games, big noon, 4 straight weeks. Michigan has played 2 night games this year, Hawaii and Michigan State. Beat Hawaii, 59-10, and then Michigan State we saw 29-7. So let me know what your score is. My prediction at this point, I've said 42-3 is what I'm putting down for Michigan. Although I do think the 42 might be tougher than the 3, not because of what Michigan has on offense, but this Rutgers defense. It's a focus of their program, and it clearly is the focus of their head coach, Greg Schiano. So I don't think Michigan will just be able to trample all over Rutgers like they have several other teams. But Penn State, Michigan State clearly have more talent than Rutgers. So it all depends on how Michigan's team comes out and plays on Saturday night in Rutgers. What's this guy? Travis Hamler says James is special ed. What a jerk. We should ban that guy from the channel. You tweeting him? I just got him. Report, ban. Travis Hamler, banned for life. You're gone. Manuel Riggins says, why do we refuse to do something different in the red zone, and why do we hesitate throwing the ball downfield? These are the questions. If anyone has the answer to them, you might be the best coach in college football because you could decipher a game plan against Michigan, or you can come in and decipher a game plan for Michigan to be better at passing. What I see from this Michigan offense in the red zone is fear, right? It's fear and wanting to rely on what you know. Fear that J.J. McCarthy is going to fumble the ball. Fear that they're going to throw an interception. Fear that he's going to take a sack and knock him from a 37-yard field goal back to a 50-yard field goal and miss it. I think Jim Harbaugh and the Michigan coaching staff knows that they have an issue. I don't think they know how to solve it right now, or they probably would have solved it. And over the last few weeks, it doesn't even seem like they're even trying to solve it, right? The play calling in the red zone, they have a few imaginative play calls. There's been a shovel pass here or there and some other stuff. But what I'd love to see them do against Rutgers, where you should have no problem, even if you throw an interception, even if you take a sack, even if you miss a field goal, it shouldn't matter against Rutgers, is when you get between the 10 and the 20-yard line, have a set of 4 or 5 plays, throw the ball in the end zone 3 times, even if it means you go 3 and out inside the 20, have to kick a field goal, that's fine. And then have another set of plays where J.J. McCarthy can roll out, have the defense kind of chase him down, and he could run, get out of bounds maybe, get the end zone, or have 2 or 3 wide receiver options, tight end, running back options that he can pass to. And it hasn't happened much this season. Michigan, one of the worst teams in the country when it comes to passing touchdowns in the red zone. 44 trips so far this year, only 9 passing touchdowns. Becky and Chad says, how are the members ranking these? How are the members ranking these teams? Yeah, what I'm trying to do here, Jack, is I'm trying not to squint and show people how bad my eyes are. So I appreciate Jack in my ear, because I have to do one of these, because the TV, the monitor that's got these questions is about 7 feet away from me with the camera. But nevertheless, it depends on this committee. It changes every year, and we don't always know what they value. There's been certain committees that have valued who you lost to. Maybe that's why Alabama's ranked above TCU. There's certain committees that say only who you beat seems to matter. There are certain committees that say it's the totality of the strength of your schedule, plus did you win a game against a ranked team on the road? Did you dominate your team? Did you pass the eye test? Did you win a conference championship game? All those things matter, and so why we've seen in the past why these rankings can fluctuate so much. What I think the reason Clemson got the nod over Michigan is because they've got multiple ranked wins versus Michigan's 1 ranked win against Penn State, despite how dominant that Michigan win against Penn State was. And then the other thing I want to kind of point out is thinking that Georgia is ranked below Ohio State, which takes away the 1 versus 2 narrative, which I think would be cool for college football, but nevertheless is Ohio State has been more dominant than Georgia throughout the season. They both started off the year in big out-of-conference games. The first week of the year, Georgia was super dominant against Oregon. Ohio State, not that dominant against Notre Dame, but since then, Georgia's had their ups and downs. They've struggled. Like Kent State kept it close against Georgia and some other games. And then Ohio State has pretty much, outside of Penn State when they were losing with 9 minutes left in the game and then scored like 3 touchdowns in the last 9 minutes, mostly due to their defense, Ohio State has been realistically the most dominant team in college football from the second weekend of the year to like the 8th. At the 1st and the 9th, right, the opening weekend and this past weekend, they weren't as dominant, but that's why I think they got the number 2 nod over Georgia. Let me know what you guys think. Who's the most overrated top 25 team? I'm going to throw one out there for you guys. Jack, if you have the rankings up still, what was North Carolina in the rankings? They were like 17th, weren't they? Do you have that up still in front of you? I'll have to circle back and ask there. But North Carolina, 17th ranked in these rankings. They only have 1 loss, and that was to Notre Dame. I think they're one of the most overrated teams in all of college football. Now, why do I think that? It's because they've had so many close calls so far this year. I want to just take a glance here as we've got this up on the screen. Bear with me for just one moment. They second game of the year, they beat Appalachian State 63-61. That's right, Appalachian State 63-61. Then a 7-point win over Georgia State, a loss to Notre Dame. They crushed Virginia Tech, beat Miami by 3. Josh Gaddis' offense stinks. They didn't even score a touchdown this past week. They had to go to triple overtime where you're just doing 2-point conversions to beat, who they beat this past week, Miami. Somebody who sucks. I think it was Virginia Tech. That's what it was, or Virginia. They beat Duke by 3. Then they beat Pitt 42-24. North Carolina should have 3 or 4 losses. They've got coming up Virginia, Wake Forest, Georgia Tech, and North Carolina State. They'll probably lose at least 1, if not 2 of those games. But I think this is one of the most overrated teams in the top 25. Other people will say maybe Alabama, but Alabama's going to have every opportunity to play LSU, who's now a top 10 team for some reason. And then they'll play, if they win that and win out, beat Auburn, etc., they will play the winner of Georgia and Tennessee in the SEC championship game. Justin Courtney, I'm going to DM you. What is the outlook of Jamon missing time due to injuries in the tunnel? Michigan is being as tight-lipped about Jamon Green's injury and what actually happened as I can ever remember. And you guys know this. Look, I've been attacked on Twitter and attacked online in the past for releasing injury news when it wasn't 100% confirmed, right? Grant Newsome, everybody remembers this, 2018. I had an excellent source, player on the team, said, look, Newsom's not going to play anymore, yada, yada, yada. Michigan wasn't ready. They wanted a second opinion of stuff. I put the word out. Grant Newsom got super mad at me. Michigan fans are coming at me left and right. I was correct. I was also correct Zach Charbonnet in 2019 that he got hurt in the Army game. Wasn't going to play against Wisconsin. They put him in for 2 snaps, whatever. So I've learned my lesson. So I've always stuck to injury news. Let me get 2-3 sources on it. I told you Eric Gall was out for the season before anybody, right? Before anybody. Told you Cade McNamara was coming back against Michigan State before anybody. So when I have injury news, I'm the first to tell it as long as I am 100% sure it's accurate. I don't know what the status is, but I think Jim Harbaugh is kind of going to be a super tight-lipped to anybody. I don't think he's giving it out to anyone right now because of the potential legal and other consequences that may be behind this injury due to Michigan State suspending 8 players and Jamon Green filing charges potentially and a lawsuit against Michigan State. Any idea of the start time of the Nebraska game? I would love to know the start time of the Nebraska game because I've got a bunch of plans that weekend. I'm trying to figure it out. But as of yet, don't know. Haven't even seen any inklings. I can tell you for sure it's not going to be a night game unless something for some reason drastically changed because of the night slate that is already set up for that weekend. So plan it to be either a 12 or a 3:30, but not going to be a night game. Michigan, Nebraska coming up here. What that was in 2 weeks, right? Yeah, coming up in it's the road game. What's that? 2 weeks from now. That is a week. That's the 12th. Yeah, a week from Saturday. So Michigan's got Illinois on the 19th, Ohio State on the 26th. Prior to that, Nebraska on November 12th, and then Rutgers come this week. So it's away, home, away to end the year. But don't expect that Nebraska game to be anything other than a 12 or a 3:30. I'm going to guess it's going to be a 12 just because that's what it seems that Michigan's games have been this year. They've either been 12 games, 12 o'clock, or a night game. Help us get to 23,000 subscribers. Jack, we've updated that number. We have 22,524 subscribers on this channel. The most watched as far as audience program of any Michigan football program, radio show, TV show, podcast, Twitter space, anything on planet Earth. We, for the 3rd straight year, have led all metrics. There's plenty of services out there that kind of can look and rank all the podcasts, all the the local radio stations. You guys might be surprised. Those local radio stations, the Ann Arbor WTKA, 3,000 listeners per day. 3,000 listeners per day, per show, I should say, right? And we're 5, 6, 7, 8 times that on the average day here at the Michigan Football Report. And most of the podcasts, even the official Michigan Go Blue podcast with John Jansen, gets less audience than this one. So thank you so much to all of us, all you guys that have helped us grow over the past 3 or 4 football seasons. We really appreciate it. It's youtube.com/MichiganTV. Send the link to a friend. Anthony Chandler Ford says, do you believe Michigan is holding back their playbook so they can surprise Ohio State? Because I feel like they did that last year. Did they? Right? I'd love to believe it, but if they are, I don't think it's something drastically different, like new sets, new formations, right? What did they catch Ohio State off guard with last year? Well, 2 things. Runs to Hassan Haskins and Blake Corum, right? Remember those. And I guess you call a run to A.J. Henning. But remember, back in 2019, Giles Jackson scored the same exact play that A.J. Henning scored on. Same setup, too, the first score of the game for Michigan. So it wasn't anything Ohio State hadn't seen. What you'll probably see from a holding things back against Ohio State is you will see wrinkles of plays that they have gone to a bunch. So let's just say J.J. McCarthy's in shotgun, Blake Corum standing next to him, and typically it's handoff this way to Blake or JJ runs this way. Maybe you'll see something like that. Instead of the read option, it's straight up the middle and a tight end kind of come across the formation and lead blocks up the middle. Or it is a, JJ pulls it back and Blake goes out for a pass, potentially JJ backs up. I think those wrinkles, and if you watch the analysis that Big Ten Network, I'm not going to act like I'm a telestrator kind of guy. Big Ten Network and Urban Meyer especially, I'll give him a lot of credit. They have done a really good job on some of their shows, midweek, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday shows, of showing all the wrinkles this Michigan running game has put in so far this year. And so if we have anything they're holding back, I think it's some variation. You're going to show this tendency, show this tendency, show this tendency against Ohio State. They'll probably go the other way with the tendency, even though they might show it a couple times, hit him with the opposite of it later in the game when it matters the most. Barry McCockiner, what a great name. Josh Gaddis is the biggest con man ever. Well, he certainly fleeced 2 schools, if not 3, for millions by just coming up with a mantra that sounds cool, speed and space. And then I don't know, because Jim Harbaugh didn't want to fire his offensive coordinator going into what could have been Harbaugh's last year at Michigan in 2021. Harbaugh was in the hot seat coming into last year. Didn't want to replace offensive and defensive coordinator. So fired Don Brown, kept Josh Gattis. Gattis won the Broyles Award for the best assistant in college football last year, which is wild because it wasn't his offense. Go watch a Miami game. Watch the Miami game this weekend. Watch any Miami game this year. You tell me if that offense looks anything like what Michigan ran the last year or at all so far this year. It's completely different. And guys like Sam Webb and all these local journalists will say, "Oh, Josh Gattis told us that he runs this offense." That's all they said last year. It was completely false, completely fake. Gattis had to take a step back. He called the plays. But the plays that he was allowed to call weren't plays that he had shown in 2020 and 2019. So here's the playbook, Josh. It's my playbook, Jim Harbaugh says, and Matt Weiss says, who kind of was taking the reins away from him last year, Sharon Moore. Call one of these plays, and I'm not even going to get the opportunity. I'm going to tell you if it's run or pass, which what Josh Gattis had to deal with a lot last year. Jim Harbaugh said, let's give it a run. Let's run here. Let's run Hassan. And Gattis had 2 or 3 plays he could call in that scenario. So shout out to Josh Gattis for, making an impression on a lot of recruits' moms over the year. No pun intended. I don't know what's going on there, Jack. I've heard that rumor too. And then for making millions of dollars for being one of the most overrated coaches in the history of college football. So is he a big con man? No. But for some reason, he can sell himself to athletic directors and college football head coaches despite his inability to put up any results on the field. All right, that is the end of this question and answer portion of the Michigan Football Report. We're at 22,525 subscribers. Make sure you guys subscribe if you're watching here live. If you haven't, send it to a friend. If you haven't recommended us, do it for us for the month of November. Recommend us for Christmas. Do something nice. It'll feel good in your heart. Recommend the Michigan Football Report, youtube.com/Michigan TV. All right, Producer Jack, are we end the stream or we're going to loop it? End the stream? Yeah, I think we should end it. Where we at with audience here? Got 245 people. All right, we're going to end it now. We've been live for an hour and 36 minutes, 36 minutes. So really appreciate you guys. I'll give a few more shout-outs. Why don't you toss the type me up there, Jack? We'll give one more round, 60 seconds of shout-outs. Anybody who wants a shout-out, go ahead and type me in the comments. Chris Carpenter, I'll give you a shout-out. He's saying Ohio State's the most overrated. S. Kukois, Koukios. He says, you the man and me. So thank you so much for, I guess I'm the man in this scenario, unless he's talking to somebody else in the chat. He's typing me. The audience is dropping here. We've lost like 60 people since we said we're about to wrap up the show. Becky and Chad, one of the longtime viewers. I'll ask you, Becky and Chad. I think you told me last year, but I forget. Is it Becky and Chad watching, or is Becky or Chad the Michigan football fan? Let me know. Just type Becky or Chad, or both Becky and Chad in the comments. I'd love to know because I forget what you guys said last year. The man list says me, Raider Nation 187. Shout out Raider Nation. Make sure you subscribe to Mitchell Wren's youtube.com/Raiders Report if you haven't. Garrick Troop says me, Gotti Vlad, DJ Khaled. DJ, is it the real DJ Khaled? It might be. Oscar Saavedra, me, thank you for a great show. Appreciate you watching. Elliot Howard says, Michigan, how about no? I don't know what that means. Becky and Chad, both. So what a couple. I've tried to get the ladies, all my years of my life interested in Michigan football. It's a tough task. So cherish that relationship you guys have of bonding over Michigan football, amongst, I'm sure, many other things, of course, as well. Buddha Belly says, me, Ohio State sucks. Buddha Belly, I thought you were an Ohio State fan. Now they suck. Oh, my gosh. They're going to get beat by Michigan again. Buddha Belly says, Ryan Day is soft and he's ruined this program. Buddha Belly actually railing on Ryan Day and the Ohio State football program. Gosh, tough. Henriado, Scoobyism, Angelo Pata says, 1,067 days since Ohio State's beat Michigan. Have a nice day. Justin Courtney again, go blue. Give me the me's. 20 years together for Becky and Chad. Really, congratulations there. So that means you guys started dating or married. I'm not sure if that's dating or married or just together. If it's together, Becky and Chad started. They saw the 2003 season at least together. Michigan beat Ohio State, And then, the tough years came, right? 7 straight after that. So you guys might have been thinking, like, gosh, we got that win in 2003, and then 7 straight losses. Are we cursing each? Is this relationship a curse? But nevertheless, we got that win in 2011, and then this past year, and all those thoughts that we may have had about our significant others, that we jinxed this program, they've gone out the window because Michigan won in 2021. Ohio State didn't win in 2020, and Michigan's going to get this win here in 2022. A-Train132, shout out to you. And Kevin Hudson says, how can they possibly put Clemson above us? We're going to find out this weekend. Clemson, if they beat Notre Dame, they're going to stay at 4. If they lose Notre Dame or look really bad against Notre Dame but get a bad win, Michigan will pop ahead of them going forward. I'm hoping there's a lot of losses going down the stretch because I would love to see a 1-2 matchup, Michigan and Ohio State. Chris Carpenter says Jim Harbaugh owns Ohio State. Totally agree with you, Chris. Shout out to you, Ohio State fan, willing to admit the truth that Michigan owns Ohio State. We will be back. Put a bunch of content on the channel this week, folks. Next Tuesday, election night. You know what, Jack? We should do it. Put it up. Put it up. Hold on. Before we go here, I know we're just. Let me find. Yeah, that's the one. Okay. Election night next week. I'm not going to go political on you guys. With 150 you guys still watching, where does your support lie if you're in the state of Michigan only? If you're out of state, you can't vote here on the poll. We're geographically holding you back. 7 days from today, a new governor in the state of Michigan will be crowned, or existing governor, I guess, either way. Gretchen Whitmer, the Democrat, if you're voting for her and you're in the state of Michigan, type D. If it's Tudor Dixon, type R, the Republican challenger to Gretchen Whitmer. We got a D for Ethan St. Pierre. R, Ethan says Tudor is nuts. All right, okay, relax there. Green Arrow says R. So, we'll see what you guys are thinking. But I don't know. We don't have not a ton of votes. We only have 5 or 6 of you guys type D or R so far. So let me know who you guys are supporting, Tudor Dixon or Gretchen Whitmer election night. Whether you're voting for the R, voting for the D, or just going down the ballot back and forth and not really sure, I'd encourage you to vote either way. Coming up in the midterm elections, a lot of governorship races, obviously every congressional seat, and then 1/3 of the United States Senate seats are up for election next Tuesday. Early vote if you can, or if you can, get out there and make sure you vote next Tuesday. Becky and Chad with a D, Matt with an R. So pretty vote 50-50, very close race in the state of Michigan, but thought I'd kind of, poke the bear a little bit, get a little political talk in the chat. But we're going to end it, so the political chat ends the show here at the end, so you guys won't be fighting for a bunch of times after we jump off. Great Lake State Horsepower says vote Libertarian, and so is Justin Courtney. Vote Libertarian for him. That is the show. Steve Powers comes in with the R. We appreciate you guys watching. Stay tuned to the channel. We'll be back next Tuesday with a live show, and of course Saturday I'll have videos all the way leading up to Saturday night, and I'll do a home video after Michigan Rutgers on Saturday. Until I see you guys again, go Blue.